But listen, you can't go wrong with Jenny's. Any flavor they have is delicious. You literally
crisp.
cannot go wrong.
I'm doing
Brambleberry
it. I'm doing it
crisp.
next time.
That's the one. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. Jeff.
Yeah?
Fucking birds.
Oh, man. What are they up to? What are they up to now?
They're up to their old tricks. They're up to their pranks. I hate birds.
Thank God we're back, Anthony. You know how the last 2 years birds have been left unchecked? There's been no major podcastian outlet doing any kind of oversight.
Thank you. You think, as an activist in the space, you're going to create a community of activists that are willing to put in work as well. You know what I mean?
And our
when
Facebook
it's time
group
for
has.
It's time for us to retire, we hope that there will be other podcasting and community leaders that will let the world know about these bird pranks.
Carry the torch. You know?
I've seen a bird take a hot dog right out of a man's hand. That bird didn't pay for that hot dog.
It laughed as he did it.
Ooh, it laughed.
Yeah.
Ooh, it laughed.
I've seen a bird land on a baby.
Fuck that.
And poop.
Fuck
and
that.
Take right off.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Was it your baby? Did you throw your baby into the ocean afterwards?
Yeah, that's how I lost my first baby.
Yeah, tainted. Once a bird touches something, it's birded up.
It was more the principle of the thing. Like, I'm not going to let a bird get away with that. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
Like, look how meaningless that was to me, bird. You didn't get me. You didn't get my baby.
I can have another baby in 9 months, bird.
Anytime I want.
Anytime I want, I'll just have another baby, bird. You don't own me. You didn't get me. I'm not mad, bird. I'm not owned.
Look, I don't even care about this baby.
You didn't corncob me, bird.
Yeah.
Birds suck. They're weird.
What are they up to now?
They fly. Well, here's the thing. You know how birds do that fucked up bird stare?
Yes. Their little beady bird eyes?
Yeah. And they're just and their body's moving, but their head isn't moving because they're just they're trying to stare you down.
They're like looking at you like, why did you just throw your baby into the sea, you monster? You know? Like they're insinuating something?
Like they're insinuating that you're worse than them because they performed a natural action that they can't even control because of their cloaca, and you threw an entire child into the ocean.
Yeah, that stare. You know
that stare. Which, let me tell you something, bird. Don't act like you're better than me, bird.
I hate birds so much.
That stare is due to just some more weird-ass bird biology shit, my dude.
Oh, that's they're biologically conditioned and evolved to do the stare?
Kingdom Animalia, order fucked upus. Phylum Creepus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
Birds.
Get wrecked, birds. We hate you.
Oh,
birds.
I hate you so much. Almost as much as gymnasts. Don't get us started, though.
Don't get me started on fucking gymnasts. Oh, I'm small and my proprioception.
Look at me. I can move with a grace that a few humans can attain.
Oh, my balance. Get wrecked, you dummies.
Yeah.
There's not even an Olympics this year, idiot.
Yeah.
You trained for nothing your entire life. That's too mean because they really did. They really did train for their entire lives really and now they can't compete.
That one's really dark.
Really dark. But honestly, this is what a gymnast sounds like. Duh, duh, duh.
Duh, look at me flip.
Get a job. Here's the deal. So birds are known for, I guess flying first. I guess when you think birds, the first thing is flying. Yeah. I guess. The second thing is bank fraud. But I guess the first would be
identity theft.
Yeah, like that's 2 and 3. Yeah. And then number 4 is like this ability to move their heads independently of their bodies.
Yeah, you ever seen those videos online of the birds that are just like walking along a thing, but the head stays in place? It's like, have you seen that thing where the mime takes a balloon and the balloon is full of helium and it will fly all over the place, but it looks like the balloon is like stuck in place.
Yeah, and he's the mime's like trying to push it.
Trying to push the balloon, and he's walking all around it, but the balloon's staying in place. It's because the mime has this extraordinary ability to mime it, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's basically the same thing as the head of a bird.
That's right. Birds practice in mirrors under French masters for years.
That's right.
In order to be able to pull off these tricks. No, but there is a question of like, so they can focus on prey while twisting in flight. They can keep their stare on you when you're throwing your baby into the water. Even if the branch is like bouncing in the wind, their head stays at like the same.
It's creepy and just it's unnerving. And honestly, I see it every time I close my eyes when I go to sleep at night.
I wake up sometimes multiple times in the night screaming, and I have to be calmed down by my sainted wife of 57 years.
Yeah. Who's like, it was the right choice, honey. I keep telling you it was the right choice.
It was a dream. It was a dream. They're there. So we found out that they might have a balance organ in their inner ears that act
we all have that, don't we? Have the inner ears is where we get balance.
Yep. But listen. So here's what's up. We have
nothing special about birds, Anthony.
Yeah. I could fly if I wanted to. Bird.
Yeah, I could stare at you and move my head.
I could shit on Jeff's kid if I wanted to. Bird. I could.
Anytime you want, Anthony. Anytime you want.
So they have the balance organ in their inner ears that acts like a gyroscope, just like we have. It's proprioception. It's what lets us know, that we're balanced, that we're up, that we're down. But, my dude, what if I told you they have a second balance organ in their body?
What? They got two balance organs?
Right at the base of their spine, right above their legs, they have an organ known as the lumbrosacral organ.
Huh.
Which is a great name also for a circus elephant.
The lumbrosacral
organ. Yeah. Lumbrosacral.
When it was time in 6th grade for everybody to pick their instrument, I really regret picking the lumbrosacral organ.
Well, you were such a small kid and you had to cart that thing around.
Well, I didn't know we were going to be marching and everybody had to carry, the kids with the trumpets were cool. The kids with the drums were cool. And I had my lumbrosacral organ.
I'd like to imagine that the lumbrosacral organ is the one that's like on that YouTube video where the guy's playing the organ, but he's also like pulling on the whistle and like spinning that crank. That's like, woo, woo, woo.
It was designed by Dr. Seuss.
That's the lumbrosacral organ.
Yeah. It's what Oompas and Doompas play.
Hey, look it up. Read a book. If you Google, what do Doompa play?
For sacral organs, yeah.
So this second balance organ has played a very important role in bird evolution and how birds move.
Well, I imagine if your body can be balanced independent of your head, it really explains a lot of those weird movements you see where a bird can really... And I imagine that's probably very helpful in flight and how they land on branches and all that stuff.
Think about an owl. You know that like those slow motion videos of owls, and as they're doing this, their head is just like perfectly aligned with the horizon.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So they can do that. And it's so funny because it's like, it's another one of those animal senses. Because birds also have that electromagnetic sense, and fuck them for having that.
Man.
But
it's not cool, birds.
It's not cool, birds. Not cool. But there's this other, you're not better than us.
No, stop it. Stop with your stares.
Knock it off. But it's another one of those like animal things where when you hear about it, you try to picture what it would be like and you can't, right? Like spiders that have like the super wide angle, like 360 degree, or pigeons that have like the 360 degree vision.
Yeah. Or like segmented eyes. I always try to imagine what the world must appear to be to an insect or a fly or something that has segmented eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you remember those little toys that you would buy as a kid that looked like compound bug eyes, and you'd put it on?
Totally.
And it's just like, this is what it's like. And I remember being like, no, that's not what it's like. They wouldn't be able to do anything. It's like way cooler than that. And I was like, 50 cents for nothing.
Could you imagine if we had two balance organs, one for our head and one for our body? Could you imagine the gymnasts?
You know what I'm saying? Gymnasts.
Yeah, but seriously, like, what could they do?
Slackliners. Those idiot slackliners. That wouldn't even be a hobby for people. You know what I mean?
Slacklining would just be how we get from place to place.
Oh my God, what a better world.
just slack line hither and yon, you know?
We wouldn't even, you wouldn't need to build a bridge. Everybody would have like Batman style Gatling hooks.
Oh yeah, we just shoot ropes from window to window.
We just shoot a rope and just walk across it, man. We'd just be like, hey, man on wire wouldn't have been made.
We'd all be man on wire. We'd all be Le Pont, whatever his name is, you know? Pepe Le Pew. What was his name?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's right.
That's right. This is one of those ones where when I think about animal powers that I want, everybody's like, oh, imagine if you had like the sense of smell of an animal. I was like, nope, don't want. Too many smells in the world. Too many gross smells. Don't want. Yeah. But like the vision or the hearing, I don't think I would want the hearing either. Like I think it seems cool.
No, you're right, Anthony. When you think of birds, the one thing about them that you wish you could do always is the balancing.
Excuse me. I said all animals. But yeah, birds, you're right. Look, flight is cool, Jeff. Flight is cool, but flight requires but we're talking about senses. Flight is not a sense.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. The idea of heightened smell or even heightened touch, or some of the even like bats, you know, where you could have what is it? Look,
big ears.
Yeah, you know, big ears, the ability to hang upside down. No, the echolocation. Echolocation would be rad. You know, you could be Daredevil, but you're right. A balance, a level of balance that you could attain that would be bird-like would be pretty incredible.
I wonder what athletics, like what sports would have looked like, what athletics would have looked like. We never would have had a ninja movie.
No, everybody
could do that.
Yeah.
We wouldn't. Three ninjas kick back never would have happened.
You're right.
I don't want to live in that world.
I stared into the potential of that happening, and I saw Oblivion.
No, God made us exactly as we were meant to be.
Okay.
We shouldn't mess with this.
We should not.
So
only birds have this? Or, I mean, I feel like there are other animals that have a profound sense of balance. You know, I think of like cats and what have you, but only birds have this?
So this study only relates to birds because this lumbrosacral organ has not been studied very much. So they know that this organ exists. They know that it's kind of unique to birds, but nobody's been like, hey, what does this do? So this study was basically based on like looking at the structure of this organ, looking at how birds move, and looking at the behavior of different birds with different shaped lumbosacral organs to really find out if this is the balance organ of birds. They looked at the lumbosacral organ, and they found that it has a series of fluid-filled kind of canal recesses in the bone.
So similar to the ear one, right? So
similar to the inner ear
principle, yeah.
Yep, they have it. Every bird has this at the base of the spine. They also found that birds that perch often have deeper recesses in that organ. Those canal-like recesses are deeper in birds that perch than birds that don't perch, which suggests that those canals probably help maintain balance because that's what takes the most balance in a bird's day is perching.
Right.
You
of course.
You look at a bird on a wire staying perfectly still, or you listen to the beautiful song Bird on a Wire by Peebo Bryson.
Right. Or and watch the Mel Gibson film.
Watch the Mel Gibson Goldie Hawn movie Bird on a Wire. Kids ask your parents. This is what takes the most work for them to balance. And so they were like, oh, okay. If this is how this organ has evolved in birds that need more balance, it's reasonable to assume that we have found the reason that birds can do this. Right. This is an initial study where they are now presenting more questions, more research that should be done, probably pulling birds apart at this point, but that's not for us.
We can only hope that they're dissecting a whole bunch of birds.
Just pop the head right off on one of those little tweeters.
Just dig in and find some new organs we didn't know existed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, use as many birds as you need, science.
Hey, do you think any of them are wondering if this new organ is tasty? You know what I'm saying?
I think probably most.
Yeah.
I think if I was somebody who studied animals, probably up to and including endangered species and blue whales, I'd be like, we got to kill at least one of these for science, right? And then once we do,
yeah,
we got to snack on just a little bit of this,
just
right?
Taste it.
Just for science, right? We got to know.
Yeah, we got to know.
Hey, you think that Tiger King ever ate one of those tigers?
He had to have, right? They talked about tigers disappearing from that place. You know, it's not easy to dispose of a 300 pound, what are they, 500 pound tiger? Tigers
weigh at least 20 pounds. And I think they found like some skeletons buried.
Jack Skellingtons?
Yeah, they found some Halloween Town Nightmare Kings. They found some tiger skeletons buried around the Tiger King's compound, I think. And you have to wonder, for a dude who's so obsessed with himself and obsessed with power and obsessed with tigers and owning a tiger, he probably ate a tiger, right?
Oh, I'm sure he did. You look at a tiger and he thinks, you want to eat me, don't you? I eat you. No, I eat you.
I eat you. I wear sequins and I eat you.
Yeah.
I
totally ate a tiger.
With panache.
Well, everything's good with a side of panache.
You put a little panache on anything.
You smother it in panache and anything's going to taste good.
Here's the trick. A lot of people leave these two things off of their meats, and I'm telling you, put them on every meat. It's wonderful. Paprika, panache.
That's right. Either one. Both.
Either one.
Preferably.
Mix it both. Yeah, I like to pre-mix both of them. Shake it up. That way it's ready to go.
Do you like to do the panache dry rub or more of like a wet sauce?
I like to do a dry rub, and here's the trick, especially if you're going to be batch cooking your meals.
Yeah, your tiger meat.
Your tiger meat, you put it all in the Instant Pot.
Oh, you just forget it. You set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it, and then season it after.
Oh.
Because the Instant Pot's going to get rid of a lot of that seasoning.
That's true. It'll just soak it right out.
And then you get the seasoning and the power of the tiger, which you've eaten. And that's a win-win, baby.
Win-win.
I think it's kind of interesting that we've known that birds can do these weird things. And I'm sure researchers and biologists have thought about it before, but it's always interesting to be like, well, birds has been around as long as we've been around. Why haven't we looked at this organ before? That's
the most shocking element of this entire story, is that it's a new story. I thought you were just like talking about birds, something everybody knows, and maybe it just was a factoid that was not talked about enough. But no, this is new information. This is a discovered thing that's in birds.
This study comes from was posted on the bioRxiv April 3rd, 2020, just a week ago.
Wow.
Can you believe?
Hidden organs, the bird's biggest prank?
Their biggest prank yet. They hid an organ away from us. It's like when Houdini hollowed out his cheek so he could put keys and shit in it.
Yeah, that's what birds be doing.
Except nothing like that. I just wanted to reference it.
Yeah, it was good though.
I love Houdini.
Yeah, I know. You talk about him way too much. It's okay.
We may have gotten a little off topic, and so I'm going to take this opportunity to thank everybody who's been listening and remind you of our Patreon, which is the number one and also only way
it's
we fund the show.
Of a one item list.
Listen, this is the best, worst, greatest, most terrible, most lucrative and least lucrative way we support the show.
Yes, and you can help us continue this show by becoming a patron at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. All kinds of fun stuff to get yourself involved in. You can just feel good about supporting the show. You can just feel like, hey, these fellas, they give me useful information about birds. A lot of misinformation and a lot of things that are potentially confusing and misleading.
But they give me that to sift through, to keep me occupied in these trying times.
They challenge me to hone my own sense of truth, right? Because where else in the world right now will you get mistruths and misinformation?
Hard to say.
Here's the only place.
This is it. This is the only place to support the podcast. This is the only place to support mistruth. We also have a bunch of things to give to you in return for supporting the podcast. The first of which is if you support us for just $1 or more, you get access to the We Have Concerns Discord. It's a community where other concerned citizens get together. We chat, we hang out, we talk about the show, we talk about science, we talk about birds, we talk about everything under the sun.
There's an entire channel in our Discord devoted entirely to bird pranks because we are ever vigilant. Our community is on the case.
Confido vigilo is what we say about birds. And then for slightly more a month, you get special things like those cold open discussions that we're ending in the beginning of the show. You can hear those entire discussions. We give those to you. You can get early episodes. You can get Patreon video hangouts with me and Jeff. The first of which is happening on 420. Blaze it!
Yeah, Monday the 20th. We are going to be blazing our own trail of hanging out.
Oh, Dad.
Right? Because that's what we're
Dad.
doing. First one back. I'm so excited, man. I loved doing these when we were doing them, and now we're back doing them. So I'm going to love doing them again. It's an awesome group. I hope to see those familiar faces back, and I hope to see new faces. If you're one of those people that wants to hang out, not just with us, honestly, we're the least interesting part of these hangouts. It's the other folks. It's cool people from literally all around the world that are hanging out and chatting and just, talking about whatever, just shooting the hay.
Yeah. If you want to be part of this community, I mean, you're already part of this community. And listen, if you just want to hang out with other concerned citizens and suggest stories, we have the Facebook group, we have the subreddit. Those are wonderful places to do that. But if you'd like to hang out a little bit more and get a little extra value, head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Anthony, did you ever read Bram Stoker's read?
I try not to.
Yeah. Did you ever read Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Oh, loved it. Loved it.
I read it once in high school, I think, and it wasn't one of the books that really stuck with me. I think I had to read it for something. I've enjoyed the Dracula myth and the expressions of it in popular culture.
Dracula 2000.
Yeah, Dracula 2000. The Francis Ford Coppola Dracula was fine. There's like a new Netflix one that was done that I got a lot of joy out of.
Oh yeah, the Netflix BBC co-pro that they did.
Yeah,
that's
the
supposed
one
to be really
by
good.
The Doctor Who folks.
Yeah,
it's real fun.
It's fun. The book. You're right. I think I read it. I read it when I was like 13 or 14. I think I had just read like Interview with the Vampire. I was on a vampire kick. You know what I mean? Kids get into vampire kicks when you're a teen.
For sure.
And I remember reading it, and initially, it's very dry because it's whole swaths of the book are written as like journal entries, series of letters. Right. Like part of it is Keanu Reeves' journal. Part of it is Winona Ryder's letters to that redheaded chick. I've read the book many times, as you can tell by the proof that I'm giving you right now. No, a lot of it, like it starts off with like a huge just entry in Jonathan Harker's journal. And like Jonathan Harker is like, he's like an auditor businessman fucking guy, lawyer. And so it's really dry.
It's kind of like the found footage version of a novel, right? You are reading this journal of a guy who goes in and gets seduced basically by Dracula. It discovers Dracula.
And that's why it was such like a groundbreaking novel and why it still gets read in high school and stuff like that, is because it played with the style of novel at a time when nobody had been doing stuff like this within a novel.
Right. And as such, Bram Stoker's Dracula became a massive classic and translated into hundreds of languages. It is one of those books that you can read in any language, including a version that was released in Icelandic.
Iceland is the nation that has the most readers, the most voracious readers in the world. Did you know that?
Is that true?
They read more books than any nation in the country. Or any nation in the country. Yep, that's what I said, and I said it correctly. Any nation in the world. It's a big tradition for the holidays. Everybody gives books. There are big book fairs. Listen, it's dark a lot, my dude.
Yeah, that's true.
And they are inside.
Stay in and read, I guess. They're
inside by the fire, and they read. They read like crazy, and it's one of the things that I love about Iceland. They live They live in the game Shadow of the Colossus, and they read a lot, and that's why I love them.
Well, we got this article posted on our Facebook group by Tristan Hornsley Pennell.
Oh, Tristan Hornsley Pennell is back, is he?
Yes, Tristan. I think Tristan had a...
Hornsley Pennell.
Did Tristan Hornsley Pennell have a nickname by chance?
Sir Tristan? Why, I have to say, it's completely slipped my mind.
Oh, my.
Oh, dear.
Please remind us, Tristan, if you had or literally anybody that's submitting stories, if you had a nickname that we have forgotten because we're terrible people, then remind us so we can credit you.
What a terrible faux pas, Lord Jeffrey.
Indeed.
Tristan Hornsley Pennell. I feel like it's just this for a minute and a half every time he sends something in.
It's probably true. It's not a nickname so much as it is an annoying riff.
Yeah, it's just something he's heard his entire life that we do, and we do worse than everybody. Thank you for sending in another story, Tristan.
This is actually not a super recent story, but I don't know if you're aware of this, Anthony. We've been gone for 2 years. So this is a story that was posted on Medium a couple of years ago, but one I was not aware of, and it's fascinating to me. So I'm going to bring it up because evidently,
go on.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, translated into Icelandic in the 1890s.
Great.
And people have been reading it, as you said. That country, voracious readers, people devouring Dracula, no pun intended. And it turns out, just recently, somebody went back and then translated the translation back into English.
Just for funsies.
Just for funsies. And discovered it's nothing like Dracula. It's nothing like the original. It is like a page one rewrite of the novel.
Oh, it's Van Helsing.
it's Van Helsing.
They just created they wrote the screenplay for Van Helsing. God, I love Van Helsing.
I know you do.
I can't go into it right now. I can't, but listen, one day we'll sit down. You can ask me if you see me on the street, which you won't because we're all trapped. But if you see me anywhere in the world, just ask me, hey, I have a bumper sticker that says, ask me about Van Helsing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the last thing you see before the Death Yaris rides away.
Down. It's like, ask me about Van Helsing, and you're just like, oh, you mean with... You don't even get to say Hugh Jackman's name.
No. That's how fast the Yaris moves.
So wait a minute. This person, this Icelandic person in the 1890s, somebody comes to him and goes, hey, we got this novel. It's huge. We want it translated into every language. We want them bucks. Publishing is a huge deal in the 1890s. I don't know if you heard, they did not have apps. So they're like,
exactly.
People are loving this dude with the pointy teeth. You got to translate this book about this pointy teeth dude. And this guy's like, yeah, cool. He starts reading it. He's like Jeff Kanata at 14 and goes, this book is boring.
Yada, yada, yada. Get to the good stuff.
Where are the naked sex ladies that walk on the ceiling?
Yeah.
Where is the vampire fights?
Right.
Where is all this garbage? What are all these letters home to this dude's wife? I'm axing that shit. I'm writing about pointy teeth man.
I can do better, he says.
Yeah.
I can do better. So this dude's name is Vladimir Asmundsen. And this is the translator. The name of the book in, I guess Icelandic is the language we're talking about here.
Yep.
Is Makt Mirkrana. Makt Mirkrana.
Darkness. Something darkness.
Yeah, it's...
or something night.
Hang on, where is it? It's Powers of Darkness.
Yes.
Powers of Darkness. It starts similarly, but it removes entire characters.
Hell yeah.
Adds in new characters. Invents entire plots and subplots. Changes the ending.
This dude is the Game of Thrones of the 1890s.
Listen to this.
He Game of Thrones'd it. He's the HBO of the 1890s, my dude.
Yeah, this is, I got to finish it myself, I guess. But so Makt Mirkrana adds 15,000 words to the Romanian sections of the story. There's parts that happen in Romania, and then there's parts that happen in England, which is a 33% increase in pages.
Yeah, because that's where all the sexy, weird stuff happens.
And it deletes or abridges most of the story taking place in England, cutting over 125,000 words, or approximately 93% of the pages.
Yes, England sucks. Bring it back to the Romanian sex palace.
This is some moxie, dude. This is some chutzpah to go, I'm going to translate. You know what? Fuck it. I can do way better. We don't need this. Redlining large swaths of shit.
Hey,
and saying,
Vladimir, hats off to you, buddy. You know what's up. Vladimir is literally like the 12-year-old kid whose parents are watching Bram Stoker's Dracula, and you're like watching from the hallway, and you're like, whoa, look at Ted from Bill and Ted in bed with all those ladies.
Well, you got that right. It actually ramps up all of the body elements. It ramps up all of. Of course it does. Yeah, there's more sexy time stuff.
Of course there is.
There are long sections that are written sort of like a romance novel with.
Dude, yes.
Here, let me read you a section. This is retranslated back from Icelandic. Here, I'll read you a section. Lightning struck again, and I saw her face right next to mine. She stared straight into my eyes, her lips parted. I saw the necklace around her neck, which was bare right down to her bosom. I could see that she'd sank down to her knees by the bench on which I sat. It goes on from there. None of this was in the original. That section, not in the original.
What I love is this guy. Vlad Asmundsson. Which, come on, his name is Vlad. I think we know what's going on here. This is Dracula rewriting his own story.
Well, that's another point, is that in this version, Dracula never bites anyone.
Oh, Vlad, you fucked up. You had me. I was there. I was ready. To support yours as the one true version of Dracula, and then you get rid of the sexy biting? Vlad.
I guess other people, Harker, I guess, still bites people. But Dracula never does the deed. It feels like we're kind of, writing Dracula out of being the bad guy here. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, man. Well, listen. Up until that, yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like Vlad is like, I mean, I only bit people when I had to. I didn't bite people for hundreds of years. But you know how it is. You turn these guys from, you turn John Wick into a vampire, he starts biting everybody. He can't help himself. You know? But what I like is Vlad Asmundsson understood what vampire fandom was going to be, right? He didn't do what Bram Stoker did, which is like, this is partially an indictment of the puritanical ideals of British society. This is partly who is the monster. This is partly what is love, like all of this stuff. No. Vlad Asmundsson is like, here's what people are going to want 100 years from now. They're going to want vampires to just slowly lick other people and vampires. They want them to wear corsets.
They want him to sparkle.
They want him to, oh boy, all vampires, listen, they just want to make out. They want to live forever and be beautiful and make out. And Vlad understood.
He was a man ahead of his time.
I'm telling you, I think this guy is a vampire. I think he has lived forever. I think he is an executive at HBO.
I think now he's show running several series. And if there's ever a book that gets translated into a television series where you're like, whoa, they made that way sexier and more violent, that is the Vampire Vlad Asmundsson. Are you talking about Altered Carbon? Vlad Asmundsson. Okay? All he does two things. He lives forever.
That's one.
And he sexies up shows. That's all he's to do.
His job is to be sexy and punch up scripts.
And live forever and never die.
He is the perfect being.
So here's the craziest thing about this.
Why did it take so long for somebody to know this?
That's what I was just going to bring up. It was discovered in 2017.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry I stepped on what you were about to say.
It's okay.
Jeff, I just had a question. I got really excited. I'm sorry.
I know. Well, I'm glad you had the same question that I was about to address.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Me too, buddy.
1890s to 2017, Iceland, a country we have already established as being voracious readers who just love their literature. Tons of them
bi and trilingual, at least.
Generations of readers there reading the wrong version of Dracula.
Somebody must have noticed.
Can you imagine when every time they see the film version they're like that guy who's like, this is nothing like the book. This is nothing like the book.
To be fair, there were a lot of people who read the Bram Stoker version who said the same thing.
It's true.
But
like, these guys, I'm sure, were even more vehement about it. They're like that annoying friend who's like, in the book, it's way sexier, and these characters aren't even in it. And you're like, are you sure?
Are you sure?
It seems weird.
I'm pretty sure Lucy is in the book, dude. Like, Lucy's a pretty big part of the book, dude.
No, man, I read the book in its original Icelandic.
Okay, so, no, Van Helsing's definitely there, man. He's the vampire hunter.
He's the one who hunts the innocent Dracula and realizes that Dracula was just a nice fella the whole time.
Nope, I don't think that. What is going on?
This movie sucks.
But I think this shows something that I think we all really know, Jeff, which is Dracula is just a book that most people have pretended to read. Do you know what I mean?
Even the Icelandic have pretended to read it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even the superior Icelandic version, people are just pretending to read it. They're like, "Oh, what did you read this? What are you reading over the quarantine, over the self-isolation? Oh man, Gravity's Rainbow,
yeah,
Infinite Jest, Dracula, fucking Heart of Darkness. Doing all the ones. Just my favorites.
Just going real deep because I got all this free time. I can just get real deep.
Taking the time to reread some favorites that I normally wouldn't have time to reread.
Yeah.
The Brothers Karamazov.
This maybe perhaps was Vlad's great plan. He's like, fuck these people. None of them are actually going to read this anyway. I can write what I want.
So it was discovered in 2017, but how and why?
Because somebody translated the translation.
What made them want to do that? And how did nobody compare it to the original English before that?
I mean, the only thing this article says is when someone finally got around to side-eyeing the Icelandic translation in 2017, they started realizing that it was very, very different.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? So check this out. It gets even weirder. So in an examination of the actual granular differences between, and they're big, huge differences. As you heard, the word counts are wildly different. They realized that some of the characters that are invented for this new version are actually in Bram Stoker's handwritten notes for what he was planning to do.
Oh, this dude did a touch of evil.
This is like some single white female shit.
This dude did Blade Runner: The Final Cut.
So
he went back and he went to the notes, he went to the dailies, he went to the rush footage, he went to the original production art, and he was like, we're putting it back together.
So the thing that's crazy is the way this original Icelandic version was published was serialized. It was in a periodical that would come out in chapters.
Yes. So this dude is Dickensing.
He's Dickensing, but I think you were super right on with George R. R. Martin, because what happens is the first 2/3 of this thing is like kind of close to the notes that Bram Stoker wrote to himself about what the book was going to be, which didn't end up being what it was. And then the last third of this Icelandic version is like rushed and crazy. And the dude evidently just didn't know where he was going with this and just fucking finished it himself and sort of shortcutted a lot of moments. And it's wild.
Wait, so was the original Dracula in English serialized as well?
No.
No.
I don't believe so. No.
No, I think it definitely came out as a novel, right? So let me just yeah.
So it says the ending of Macht Mirkrana matches an ending for an early version of Dracula that Stoker rewrote before publication.
Yes. There was a section. I remember this. There was a bit where it there was an ending that didn't go in that I really loved because at Castlevania's Dracula's castle falls apart when Dracula dies. Like the castle and Dracula, the sexy castle and Dracula are connected.
Yeah.
And when you kill Dracula, sexy castle also gets destroyed. But that wasn't the ending of the book.
It doesn't say specifically what the endings were, how they were different, but it says it's an ending that was more like his original thing. And so the theory in this article is exactly what you said, Anthony. It says, here's one possibility, that Macht Mirkrana isn't a translation of Dracula at all. It's Bram Stoker's director's cut. He pulled out an earlier draft that he liked but couldn't publish in English for various reasons and handed it over to Vladimir to interpret, allowing Vladimir to add flavors of Norse culture that would resonate only with that audience.
He sent it to Vlad and he said, my dude, England isn't ready for this, but Iceland's ready to get sexy. Listen, I called it Dracula, but its original title was Daddy Vlad's Sexy Castle. And you're the only one, Mr. Asmundsen, and you're the only one who can recreate what I wanted for this.
Yeah.
Bring back Daddy Vlad's Sexy Castle for me. Make it happen.
Well, Bram, I'm your man. I think this is what I was born to do.
I want to read the Icelandic version translated to English. Can I do that?
Yeah, it is. It has been translated back to English in a full volume, and it is available, I believe, online because it's public domain.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a wild turn of events, and they say that they think that the ending wasn't actually even written by Vladimir because it changes to a completely different style, and it was the serialized version, and someone kind of took it out of his hands and just finished it off. It says, if I was a betting man and the blinds were low, I'd wager that the last third of Macht Mirkrana was a quick finish based on Stoker's notes by someone else done to wrap the story up in the serialized form ahead of some arbitrary deadline.
Wow.
What a wild thing, right?
Wow.
This is the collected thing that's been sold in bookstores in Iceland for generations of readers.
Dude, oh yeah. When you look this up, you can grab it just about anywhere. There was a published version. You can get a nice published version that's called Powers of Darkness, the lost version of Dracula. But you can also get it on. You can get it anywhere. You can get ebooks of it everywhere.
Yeah,
this is amazing. This is so cool.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, I was blown away by this story.
This is like. I'm sorry. I'm so excited because this to me is like, I'm one of those people, you know me. I don't get this way about books, but I do get this way about movies and albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I get one of the books that I read last year that was one of my favorite books was called Future Noir, and it's the story of the making of Blade Runner and all the different versions and how it all happened, and
right.
Like or even just like when you get like one of the art books for a movie and you flip through it and you're like, here are characters that were deleted. Here were early concepts for places they were going to go. Like, it's so cool to have the unfettered, like unhindered version of this book where it's like, I didn't get to finish this. Here are the notes. It's AI. It's Hugo.
Yeah, it's like seeing the DNA of a piece of art. You get to see what bits were put together to make its creation. And it's wild that we have Bram Stoker's notes to be able to reveal this and not think that this dude just made shit up whole cloth. He actually referred to or had access to an earlier version, or there's some untold story here that is fascinating.
Yeah, at first I thought that we were talking about the invention of fanfic. You know what I mean?
Right,
like, that's what
right.
I thought. I thought we were talking about the invention of fanfic, which is dope. I was like, oh my God, we found where it originates. Like, this dude was like taking these characters and like telling his own stories with them because he loved these characters. And that's cool in and of itself. But to find that like this is maybe the first like quote unquote director's cut in history,
right?
Or movie or a project that was finished after the original artist couldn't finish it, you know? I mean, it's not the first project like that, but maybe the first book like that. I don't know. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I want to read Powers of Darkness immediately. I'll have to stop reading Gravity's Rainbow for the 8th time.
Yeah, well, you know, you'll get back to it, I'm sure. You know, you just read your favorite sections, I guess.
Yeah, I've been waking up with a little light Brothers Karamazov and then and then a little War and Peace before bed. But I think like I'm going to switch to Powers of Darkness and I'll come back to War and Peace. I always do.
Sure. You always do. Always do.
Well, everybody, thank you for sending in that story, Sir Tristan.
Sir Tristan.
And thank you to everybody who sent in stories. You know, even if we don't use them, we look at them all, and you all send in incredibly interesting stuff. As always, a great place to share them just with the rest of the community would be the Facebook group or the subreddit or the Discord for our supporters, which I'm just going to do it one more time, patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. And even if they don't get used for episodes, there's always wonderful conversations around the stories that you all send in.
Which is why you should not send them to us via Twitter.
Oh, God, no.
Hey, we love hearing from you on Twitter. We love interacting with you on Twitter. Please feel free to discuss the show. Don't send us stories on Twitter.
Oh, no.
We will
They'll
lose them.
Lost.
We will not be able to keep track of them. There are wonderful places and wonderful people that want to read your interesting stories and places for that.
Yeah. Those are definitely the places for them. Also, I wanted to, one thing before we left, a lot of people, I know this sounds like another weird thing where I'm just like marketing, but this is true. People have been asking if merch is going to come back. We used to have a lot of merch.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of t-shirts and stuff. We used to have a Patreon support level where we would send you something every month, and then we had a store, and people are wondering if that stuff is going to come back. And, you know, there are some things, some things as partners in this venture, Jeff and I discuss quite a bit. Some things we don't discuss quite as much. This is something where I think like we were both just on the same page, because I was like, I'm going to get rid of the secret mail for right now. And you were like,
yeah, it feels a little bad to be sending people stuff in the mail right now during this time.
Yeah. And so it's like, I don't want to go out to the post office. I don't want to go to Office Depot and buy envelopes. I don't want to be making people work. I don't want to be sending people things. It just seems a little icky. And then with the store, I think, even though you and I didn't expressly discuss the store, I think we sort of feel similarly, which is like, look, we could definitely use the money from merch right now. You know, we're in a time where everybody's kind of like in a place where there's a little less money coming in. We were very public on our first episode back about the fact that, you know, I haven't been working for a little while. So obviously we want to give you merch, but I think we were just thinking about it, and we were like, you know, somebody's got to print those shirts. Somebody's got to pack those shirts. Somebody's got to ship those shirts. And while we do want to keep those people in business during this incredibly trying time, we also want to keep them healthy and safe. And I think we will side on the with the health problems right now and the protection of health instead of the protection of our profit right now.
It was right there waiting for you, siding with protection of health over protection of wealth. It was right there. You could have just done it.
I actively avoid these things, which is why I have you. You do those things. But yeah, so as soon as it's safe, as soon as we feel like it's safe and responsible to bring back the store, we will definitely bring back the store. We definitely want to send you some stuff. And we really appreciate you wanting that stuff and wanting to support us in different ways. It means the world to us.
JP reached out to us, JP Coover, who has designed our shirts in the past. We're excited to get some new ideas to him and do things at some point down the line when things make a little more sense for that. we're just revving up the engine again. We're getting back into it. We're excited to be here, and we're excited to have you listening. So, onward and upward from here, and hopefully the world gets back on its axis soon.
Yep. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting however you can, and even just sharing episodes with friends, letting people know we're back, letting the world know that this is happening is more support than you can ever imagine. And y'all are just supporting us by bringing this really wonderful community back. And we just love reading these stories and hanging out with you. And we're looking forward to our first patron hangout on 420 Blaze It at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you all so much. We're so excited to be back, and we will see you next week.